Hey, so am I canceled? Do you think I'm canceled or what?
No, why are you guys so freaking out over TikTok clips? I'm so confused right now. Isn't this what you guys
Dude,
do? Isn't this like the whole industry is like farming TikTok clips off each other?
no, it's been a little bad. It's been pretty bad, not gonna lie.
What has been bad? Does your show have sponsors?
No, no, no. Just like,
Then it's just
well,
people talking shit online. Does it matter? Or I'm sorry.
yeah.
I'm being really dismissive. But go ahead.
I guess it's like mostly talking, but getting like a couple death threats here and there, so that's always fun.
You guys have never had death threats before?
Uh, Not really,
Oh damn. Well.
but it's just I don't know. To me, it's like, and I heard only a segment of what you were talking about with ABBA,
Mm-hmm.
and basically it sounded like you were saying, hey, you were sitting on that side of the table, you should have said something when they were like with their crazy take or whatever. And yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't think you should have said anything. I think you guys. I mean, personally, I think you guys all believe that shit. So I thought you were within your rights to say whatever you wanted. But I mean, that's just my perspective.
Well, I guess it's just interesting to me because I mean I didn't say anything, I didn't say a word during that entire segment about the whole injure and abuse thing, like, so I don't know how to be responsible for something that somebody else said, you know?
Hmm.
In the same way that, for example, Destiny, if Pixie or Aaron said some outlandish
Mm-hmm.
and you sat there silently, I wouldn't say that you co-sign on it unless you explicitly say so yourself or agree.
I disagree. I think that's something I'm like super cognizant of when I'm on those shows, especially
Mm.
because Aaron was being fucking crazy, and Pixie was saying some things I didn't agree with too. That's why, like at the end of those segments, I was like very careful to come in and kind of like give my take, so that it didn't seem like I was co-signing what they were saying. Like when I came in, I was like, well, I
Yeah.
think that patriarchy is this particular thing, or like here's an example of how corporations maybe shouldn't be. Like I was pretty careful to separate myself so that the audience didn't get the impression that I agreed with them, but also. I think you know this. I think most people know this, right? Like if somebody was on your panel saying some wild like that you obviously disagreed with, I think you'd probably fight back against it. But I think the issue is that like I think generally speaking, I think you probably roughly agree that emotional abuse isn't a good reason to like leave a marriage or something. That's probably something you roughly agree with. That'd be my guess.
No, actually, I disagree.
Oh, I don't believe you,
Yeah.
but I,
What the
I
fuck?
don't believe you at all.
What?
But I
But
mean,
what? But why do you think I'm like trying to do damage control? Like, I mean, here's the thing. I'm the host of the show. I
Sure.
bring on various people with different perspectives on things. There's things that I disagree with Chase, with MLD, with Mary, with you guys. I'm the host, I'm the moderator. And kind of one of the things that I do with the show is, hey, I just kind of sit back and let the conversation flow. And honestly, half the time I'm not gonna lie, I'm checked out of the conversation. Like I'm not, I'm not I'm you saw me. I'm like going behind the scenes. There's some technical issues going on. I'm trying to keep tabs on super chats and TTS and all this stuff. And then I went off because I went away for like 10, 20 minutes to lay down because I've been having chronic neck pain issues and
Mhm.
I have pretty bad like headaches and migraines. So um, I kind of just like let people talk. And yeah.
You probably think a lot of quote unquote abuse is exaggerated from women, I would guess. Like, especially when it comes to like emotional abuse.
I don't know. I think no, no, no.
You
Well,
be,
look,
yeah, sorry, God.
I truthfully I don't know. I do think that there are instances where people claim that there's over exaggeration. Um, I mean, you've probably seen that in your own life where people might over exaggerate a situation or make false claims about somebody to receive some sort of benefit. So, um, I don't think all abuse is over exaggerated.
Okay, but hold on.
And
Boring.
perhaps hold
Everybody.
up,
Hold on,
Perhaps
no,
in
no, no,
some
wait,
cases it's
wait, hold on.
understated.
That's a boring. Of course, not all. Those are like statements we make when we say, like, when you say things like that, it makes me think your actual opinion is way more radical than it might even be. Okay, if I say is something bad, and you're like, well, I'm sure.
Hold on, you think my position is radical? What do you mean?
Well, hold on, because when you have
you're assuming what my position is.
No, I am, but now I'm asking a bunch of questions, and I admitted that. I fully admitted, by the way. I'm assuming that this is probably your position. You probably roughly agree with most things that were said, and now I'm asking you a bunch of questions.
No. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
I don't roughly agree with most of the things that were said.
Okay.
Just because I sat there silently, in the same way that, for example, and it's interesting that, for example, some of the other girls. Look, if you silently, not you, but if you put in the girl who was kind of being toxic towards you, and then Billy, and then Pixie, and then Aaron silently in that clip, where MLD is talking about you must endure, why not attribute that same thing to them? Just because someone is sitting at that table and is not engaging in a particular conversational thread does not mean that they are co-signing. So it's a 5-hour conversation. I don't feel the need to agree or disagree with every single stance that is taken, especially as the host and the moderator.
Well, I mean, okay. I don't know what you want me to do about, or what is
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think you had Abba on the call, and you guys were like, well, he must clearly agree with I don't know exactly what you guys said.
I mean, like, because obviously I think that. Like, I think if somebody on your side was saying things like black people are subhuman, I don't think you would just sit there and kind of like nod along. I think you'd be like, well, hold on. I don't think I agree with that. Right.
Well, but I think one of the issues, first off, with having as many people on the show as we did, we had 11 people on that panel, is it's pretty hard to get your voice in. I'm a soft-spoken guy. I'm fairly introverted. I'm not particularly loud.
Okay, hold on. You're literally the host. You were able to quiet the conversation multiple times. You have literally control over the show and can kick people out. I don't think you have problems.
Yeah, but I don't feel obliged to, at every instance someone says something that I disagree with, that I need to make it a point to clarify, well, I don't that I disagree with this, or I agree with this. I don't think that's necessary.
Okay. I mean, that can be an opinion you have. I think that most people would probably disagree.
Well, I think you're kind of bullying me into a position that I don't hold.
Oh, well, okay. I don't know what to say about that. If I'm on a show, if I'm on a show and then you are on their side, roughly speaking, right? You guys are like the red pillars, right? So if you're on their side and people on that side are making claims and they're all roughly in agreement with each other, well, then of course I'm going to assume that you're probably roughly in agreement with them. Like, I think it's pretty reasonable, right? That's why when I'm on those shows also, like, I'm trying to think very carefully, like when Aaron was fucking acting insane, and even when Pixie was making arguments I don't agree with, I'm trying to think like, okay, what can I say when she finishes so that the audience clearly knows that I don't believe these things? Because if I don't say anything, I think it would have been fair for everybody to be like, oh, Destiny, especially because these are my friends, right? Well, if Aaron comes on and she starts getting super combative and Pixie's saying stuff about how all men are oppressed, Destiny must believe the same thing. I would expect everybody to think that. Well,
I disagree.
Okay, that's cool if you disagree, but you would be wrong, okay? Because people will absolutely come to that conclusion. Even if it's not right, people will come to that conclusion, right?